She was asleep when the flight attendant tightened her seatbelt so hard it woke her with a gasp. That was the first moment everyone realized something was wrong. 8-year-old Liana blinked, disoriented, still half dreaming, as the strap dug into her ribs. The attendant, Claire Whitmore, leaned down with a too-perfect smile that didn't reach her eyes and whispered, "Business class isn't meant for children like you." No one else heard it, but the way Liana's face crumpled told the truth more clearly than any recording ever could. The plane hummed quietly around her, passengers relaxed, unaware that an ugly seed was already planted in the cabin. Claire straightened up, plucked the child's blanket away, claiming it was obstructing safety equipment. Liana tried to protest, tiny voice shaking, but Claire cut her off with a finger pressed to her lips, a gesture disguised as helpful, weaponized by intent. Then, with the same cold grace, she removed the girl's drink and handed wine to the man beside her without hesitation. No explanation, no apology, just selective authority. 3 rows back, Amira Kingsley looked up slowly from her tablet, eyes narrowing beneath calm composure. She watched everything, the words, the gestures, the tension in her daughter's shoulders. She didn't intervene immediately. She studied, calculated. She understood that power misused reveals itself most clearly when no one believes they're being watched. Liana's breathing quickened, wiped her eyes as silently as she could. Amira walked forward, placed a protective hand on the seat, voice soft enough for only 2 people to hear. "Tell me what happened, baby." And the truth spilled out. No exaggeration, no confusion, just pain told in an 8-year-old's vocabulary. "She took my blanket, she hurt me, she said I shouldn't be here." Amira's jaw tightened, but her voice remained steady as airbound steel. She pressed the call button. Claire returned with a rehearsed professional smile, unaware she was seconds away from dismantling her own future. Amira asked why her daughter was singled out, why her drink was taken when others continued freely, why children of every other race sat untouched under blankets. Claire said words like policy, procedure, security, but her tone betrayed superiority she believed was harmless because it was subtle. She even suggested Amira be grateful that they were seated in business at all. Passengers froze, eyes widened. The atmosphere shifted, quiet disbelief turning into electric awareness. Amira did not raise her voice. Instead, she took her seat, opened her tablet, and logged directly into the airline's internal database using executive-level credentials that Claire knew nothing about. She pulled flight surveillance, service logs, personnel files, all quietly, meticulously. Claire continued serving drinks, unaware that every careless decision she had made was now evidence in a file carrying the authority of the woman who owned the plane she stood in. When the wheels touched the runway, nothing looked different, but everything was. At the gate, the captain greeted passengers with polite warmth until his face changed the moment he saw her. "Ms. Kingsley, we weren't informed." "You weren't meant to be," she replied, holding Liana's hand as she stepped forward with unshakable dignity. Claire walked off confidently until 2 uniformed airline legal officers blocked her path and requested immediate compliance for review under executive complaint. Confusion flickered through her like static, but it died when she finally recognized Amira not as another passenger, but as the billionaire CEO of Airline Air. Claire stammered, begged for context, insisted she followed protocol. Amira's answer was simple, measured, devastating. "You enforced power selectively and without cause. You humiliated a minor, endangered her comfort, denied her equal service, and implied she didn't belong here because of her race. That is not protocol, that is discrimination." Her voice remained calm, but there was no softness in it anymore. "You are suspended pending hearing. Based on recorded evidence and passenger testimony, termination is the expected outcome." Shock rippled through the terminal. Passengers gathered, some recording not for spectacle, but for proof that justice could be precise, elegant, real. Claire crumpled inward, realizing that prejudice disguised as professionalism had finally met a wall she could not climb. Weeks became investigations, HR hearings, arbitration, cameras reviewed, statements aligned, civil rights oversight committees requested records. Media picked up the story not as scandal, but as a case of corporate accountability. Amira never appeared on talk shows, she let facts speak. She attended every hearing with Liana beside her, teaching her that justice isn't revenge, it's architecture built case by case. Claire fought through lawyers, denial, appeals, none strong enough to outrun the truth she herself created. Final ruling: permanent disqualification from aviation service for discriminatory conduct against a minor. Not for drama, for evidence. Months later, in a sunlit auditorium, Liana stood proudly beside her mother as Airline announced a scholarship program in her name, funding young black women seeking careers in aerospace, aviation law, aeronautical engineering. The same skis she was once told she didn't belong in would someday belong to her. She spoke softly at the podium, voice steady like a future leader. "I want everyone to feel safe when they fly. No one should feel less because of who they are." The room applauded with the force of change itself. And somewhere far away, Claire watched on a quiet television screen, realizing that while she lost a job, Liana gained a future large enough to reshape an industry. Not through vengeance, through justice, through accountability, through truth standing taller than prejudice ever could.